Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your Warriors lose more to Minnesota Timberwolves and are eliminated. Warriors fans are sad due to the tough loss, and Stephen Curry is the most important player for this team, and unfortunately he was left out due to injury. Warriors executives say they will make drastic changes to the roster, and owner Joe Lacob is unhappy and wants a team to be champion next season. 6 players will be released and traded, which will be Kevin Looney, Gary Payton, Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, Buddy Hield, Tracy Jackson Davis. Remember that Jonathan Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, Gue Santos and Draymond Green can also be traded. Several factors influenced the Warriors' elimination. 1. Coach Steve Kerr's confusing rotation left Jonathan Kuminga out for several games. 2. Coach Steve Kerr's lack of definition of the starting 5. 3. Stephen Curry's injury. Draymond Green was involved in many on-court confusion. 4. Buddy Hield was not solid and missed many shots. 5. Lack of a big man to protect the rim. 6. The young players' inconstancy. Draymond Green makes NBA history in Warriors-Wolves Game 5, but the Warriors are defeated and lose the series 4-1. With their backs against the wall, the Golden State Warriors traveled to face the Minnesota Timberwolves on the road on Wednesday night in an attempt to avoid elimination. With Steph Curry sidelined, the Warriors have lost 3 consecutive games to dig themselves a 3-1 series hole, and now they are just 24 minutes away from their season being over. The Warriors struggled in the first half of Wednesday's Game 5, taking a 62-47 deficit after 2 periods. Golden State has desperately needed their guys to step up in Curry's absence, but have not gotten much luck. The Warriors continue to get help from Jonathan Kuminga, who led the team with 11 points off the bench on 5-10 shooting from the field. To help lead the starting unit, however, was 4-time All-Star Draymond Green, who finished the half with 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists on 4-8 shooting from the field and 1-4 from beyond the arc. With his 9 first-half points, Draymond Green passed Walt Frazier and Gus Williams to move into 71st place on the NBA all-time playoff scoring list with 1,933 points and counting. With Curry sidelined, the Warriors have turned to their veterans like Green and Jimmy Butler to take charge, but they have still had a hard time getting the job done. Of course, the Timberwolves are a very talented team, but Green and Butler should be good enough to give the Warriors a chance. Green continues to climb up the all-time leaderboards, but he is still not enough to take down the Timberwolves. The Warriors have failed Jonathan Kuminga, and it's painfully obvious. They might have missed their opportunity. After being pushed out of the rotation entirely following the mid-season arrival of Jimmy Butler, Kuminga has returned to the floor during his team's most desperate time and has heavily exceeded expectations. However, as he enters restricted free agency this summer, there is a chance that Golden State might not be able to retain him, and, if so, the end of this season will serve as a painful reminder of what could have been. Jonathan Kuminga never got the opportunity he deserved under Steve Kerr. Kuminga, who was the 7th overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft, has always displayed extreme athleticism and scoring prowess. Through his first 32 games this season, Kuminga was having a career year, averaging 16.8 points, 5 rebounds, and 2.2 assists in 26 minutes per game. However, an ankle sprain he suffered in early January kept him out for over 2 months, and, in his absence, the team's structure formed entirely around their new star. Upon his return, Kuminga struggled to fit the role that the team's new structure demanded of him, and his minutes were cut to just over 20 per game. Most tellingly, he was ultimately sidelined by head coach Steve Kerr in the team's 2 most important games of the season, the regular season finale against the Los Angeles Clippers and the play-in matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies. Yet, Kuminga, when he is given the opportunity to cut and score at will rather than taking on the more defensive and rebounding-centric role that the Warriors coaching staff has envisioned for him, has shown that he is an active and dynamic player. Now, after enduring his time away from the court, Kuminga has returned to the rotation, scoring 18, 30 and 23 points in each of the games in which he has played more than 20 minutes this postseason. Many players, especially those with Kuminga's skill set, struggled to find their game in limited minutes. A microwave bench scorer, such as Ty Jerome of the Cleveland Cavaliers or Peyton Pritchard of the Boston Celtics, is a much rarer thing in the NBA than many realize. To Kuminga's credit, he has stayed ready and, when given extended run, has flourished when his team has needed him most. However, given his upcoming restricted free agency, it is likely that a team with large amounts of cap space, such as the Brooklyn Nets or Detroit Pistons, might take a swing at giving Kuminga the extended run that he has longed for in Golden State. If Kuminga does leave the Warriors, and performs according to his abilities elsewhere, it will become obvious what his original franchise missed out on by not giving him what he needed to excel. Warriors Draymond Green fined $50,000 for questioning referee integrity against Timberwolves. Not his first fine and not his last. Golden State Warriors forward Draymond Green has had his fair share of controversy on the court this postseason, with multiple technical fouls and flagrant fouls. But it wasn't any of those that earned him his first fine of the playoffs. Instead, it was a comment made towards the refs during Saturday's Game 3 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Late in the game, which the Wolves won 102-97, Green was seen talking to the officials. He appeared to say, 5.5, I know what y'all doing. The 5.5 was a reference to the betting point spread before the game. Green might have made money had he bet the under, but he lost money by making those comments. On Wednesday, before the teams tipped off for Game 5 of their Western Conference semifinals series, the league announced that Green had been fined $50,000 for making an inappropriate comment that questions the integrity of game officials. Something tells me Draymond won't be too upset by that one, though he'll probably be a little annoyed that the league got so upset over his comments. Golden State Warriors' dream offseason trade target emerges. The Golden State Warriors are on the brink of elimination ahead of tonight's Western Conference semifinals Game 5 matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves. If the Warriors do get eliminated so swiftly, fans will surely expect some changes. Of course, the Warriors already have a strong core, led by Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler. Odds are, Curry won't be going anywhere, and Butler's spot is probably safe too. Yet, the Warriors also have a collection of young talent that could be attractive via trade too, which could be used to target another star. In fact, according to The Athletic's Sam Amick, this offseason could provide the perfect opportunity for the Warriors to target Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Greek Freak has been known to be a dream target for a long time. With Antetokounmpo reportedly open to a trade for the first time in his NBA career, the Warriors could very well come out to play this offseason. Plus, with Antetokounmpo wanting to stick with a contender, who better to team up with than a four-time NBA champion like Curry? Yet, there's still no guarantee that the Bucks are ready to part with their face of the franchise. If they do, it better be an extremely strong offer that nets a potential star player. Jonathan Kuminga's free agency fate with Warriors all but confirmed by coaches quote. Concerns still exist. The future of Jonathan Kuminga has again taken a stunning twist over the last week, with the young forward emerging as the biggest positive from the Golden State Warriors' current second-round series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Having found himself out of the rotation towards the end of his fourth year, Kuminga's time with the Warriors appeared all but over as he prepares to become a restricted free agent this offseason. Yet Stephen Curry's hamstring injury opened the door for the 22-year-old to take a prominent role, and he's taken advantage with a couple of big performances to increase his value at the absolute perfect time. Steve Kerr's comments casts doubt over Jonathan Kuminga's future with the Warriors. Kuminga had 30 points on 11 of 18 shooting in Game 3, followed by another 23 points in Game 4. He was one of the primary reasons Golden State were even competitive in both home outings, particularly on Monday night where his 16 first-half points led the hosts to a 2-point halftime lead. With Curry on the sidelines, Steve Kerr and the Warriors had little choice but to cater their offense back towards one of their best natural scorers. Kuminga has thrived as a result, but concerns still exist on how he can ultimately fit with both Curry and Jimmy Butler available. Those concerns were essentially confirmed by Kerr on Tuesday, with the head coach telling 95.7 The Game's Willard and Dibs that Kuminga is best when he has the ball in his hands for sure. That quote may give an indication of Kuminga's fate in free agency, with Golden State retaining the right to match any offer sheet that comes his way. If Kerr and the franchise know that the 22-year-old can't be fully maximized without the ball in his hands regularly, then they're not going to give Kuminga the sort of contract he may have thought when he reportedly turned down a $30 million per year extension prior to the season. That's not to say the Warriors won't bring Kuminga back, but that it will have to be at a price they're comfortable with as a potential third scoring option behind Curry and Butler. For as impressive as he's been over the last 3 games, he's not about to seize the offense over the veteran duo and have things designed primarily for him. The jury remains out on whether Kuminga can ultimately work with Curry and Butler, meaning his future with the Warriors is still far from certain as key decisions await in the coming weeks and months. Jonathan Kuminga's behavior towards Steph Curry that angered Steve Kerr revealed. Jonathan Kuminga was reinserted into the Golden State Warriors rotation after Jimmy Butler got hurt in Game 2 of the first-round series against the Houston Rockets. Butler missed Game 3 but returned in Game 4. After Butler came back, Kuminga was back to not playing. However, after Steph Curry injured his left hamstring in Game 1 of the conference semifinals versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, Steve Kerr had to play Kuminga again. The 22-year-old Kuminga has played well in the Warriors-Timberwolves series. The forward is averaging 19.5 points, 3.0 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 0.3 steals and 0.8 blocks while shooting 57.4% from the field, 50% from 3 and 79.2% from the free throw line. Some have wondered why Kerr benched Kuminga to begin with since the swingman has proven to be a talented scorer. Well, according to Logan Murdoch of The Ringer, Kerr was angry with Kuminga because the youngster kept looking off Curry on offense. Despite his talent, Kuminga's propensity to look for his shot at the expense of the flow of Golden State's offense has irked the coaching staff, Murdoch wrote. During a late-season game against the Blazers, team sources say Kerr was incensed after several instances in which Kuminga looked off Curry to create his own offense. Kuminga subsequently received DNPs in the Warriors' regular season finale against the Clippers and then again in their play-in matchup against the Grizzlies. By the start of the playoffs, many within the organization wondered whether Kuminga, who is eligible for an extension, had played his last game as a Warrior. Kuminga becomes a restricted free agent this summer, meaning he can either re-sign with the Warriors or sign an offer sheet with another team. If Kuminga signs an offer sheet with another team, the Warriors would have 48 hours to match the deal or let Kuminga walk.